Some people will just put up a building, probably employ the services of unlicensed builders or engineers, and then probably also buy substandard materials and subject human beings to more like a likely journey to the beyond. This is something we need to talk about, and we need to kick the regulators, if you like, in the butt and ask them, what were they doing when that building was under construction? I thought that if the building did not have approval and there was a building construction ongoing, the government agencies that ought to, know some of these things should be in the know. In fact, should stop construction if approval was not granted. You remember the one in Ikoyi also, I think it was in 2022, when there was a question, a debate about the number of floors, and a certain consultant pulling out of the engagement at some point and publishing a letter to the effect that he or they, whether they or he or she, doubted the integrity of the other floors after the 5th floor. These are questions that we need to bring to the table, and someone needs to be punished, in fact, very well punished indeed on this matter. All right? I hope I'm not sounding like I'm angry, but human lives are involved in this matter. You understand what I'm talking about here? Okay, so the other story here, Justin, Ghana becomes first to approve Oxford malaria vaccine. I remember that when this vaccine was developed, about 2 years ago or so, and it was said to be piloted in Ghana. I was asking questions about Nigeria carrying the largest prevalence rate of malaria in Africa, and I was thinking, or even globally, and I was thinking, why not pilot the vaccine in Nigeria? Okay, so it has been done already. So Ghana has become the first country in the world to approve a new malaria vaccine from Oxford University. The vaccine, called R21, appears to be hugely effective, in stark contrast to previous ventures in the same field. Trial data from preliminary studies in Burkina Faso showed the R21 vaccine was up to 80% effective when given as 3 initial doses. And a booster a year later, the BBC has reported. Children under the age of 3 years old are in line to benefit from the vaccine. Ghana's drug regulators have accessed the final trial data on the vaccine's safety and effectiveness, which is not yet public, and have decided to use it. The World Health Organization is also considering approving the vaccine. Malaria kills about 620,000 people each year, most of them young children. It has been a massive, century-long scientific undertaking to develop a vaccine that protects the body from the malaria parasite, the BBC has said. All right, so you understand that this is breakthrough for the world, and particularly for Africa, where the largest prevalence of malaria still holds sway in the world. I thought to ask you, what do you think about this? Vaccine for malaria out already, and Ghana has become the first country to say yes. Thumbs up for this one, the vaccine made by the University of Oxford. So the other question will be, why is it that we seem to be hesitant to also lead the world in scientific breakthroughs? Even the COVID vaccine was also developed in Oxford and some other places across the world. What are we doing in Africa, really? Question, isn't it? All right, let's talk on the program, Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. You remember also this question about the plan to remove the subsidy on petrol, which has been going on for quite some time. I remember that this subsidy was to be removed last year, and essentially on account of the petroleum industry bill being signed by the president. That bill, by the way, I recall, must be the most traveled bill in the history of legislation in Nigeria. Eventually, it got signed by the president, I think it was in 2021 or thereabouts. And the design was to remove the subsidy, I think, in 18 months or so. So, you remember that this government delayed the removal of the subsidy. I'm paying about 3 trillion naira in 2023 up to June. Okay. So, you know the design now? Remove subsidy. That has been the design by this government. So there is a group here. Okay, so you know them already. NUPENG has warned the federal government, no functional refineries, no subsidy removal. All right, I'll read that story. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Gas and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has warned the federal government not to contemplate the removal of the subsidy on petrol without local refining capacity in view of the socio-economic implication on businesses and Nigerians. According to the union, members are not averse to the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, PMS, but the federal government must ensure that our local refineries are put into full operation before such a major policy decision is taken in the interest of the generality of Nigerians. This was part of the communique issued by NUPENG leaders at the end of the union's National Executive Council meeting in Lagos. The NEC of NUPENG deliberated on the state of the nation, especially after the conduct of the 2023 general elections and the increasing statements from Nigerians on the intention of the federal government to end the PMS subsidy regime, among others. All right, so you understand the essence of this. Just thought I should let you in on that. NUPENG also made a submission on the election. On the just concluded general elections, NUPENG vowed to resist any attempt to foist interim or undemocratic government on Nigeria after May 29 has been speculated. Okay, who is making the speculations? It's Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. Don't forget that you can join the conversation on Facebook. I'm streaming live, okay? Just gravitate towards Splash FM 105.5 on Facebook. We're there. In case you'd like to join the conversation on Twitter, tweet at Splash FM 1055. At Splash FM 1055. I am there as well. Let's talk. You can use the hashtag Talking Points. I'll be here to read your comments and tweets as well. Remember, I told you about Facebook. Okay, so we're still doing the business there. I'll open the phone line soon, but that will be after this conversation that I'd like to play as well. I know I have a commercial at 20, okay? I'll do well to just let you understand that there is a conversation about the election, about Nigeria, and about leadership in Nigeria, essentially, about the divisions in the country. It's basically been said over and over, time and again in this country, that we are now more divided than we were. So what is the essence? What is the reason for this division, or what is causing this division? That's a question you ought to consider, right? And I also thought you would like to know about a conversation I had with someone who he wrote a book essentially about a fiction, about his experience during his youth service in one place very close to Warri, in the old Bendel State, now Delta State in Nigeria, in the 1980s. The place is called Ekwere, and the man who wrote the book celebrated his 70th birthday last week. I think it was last Wednesday. Last week, Wednesday. It was essentially about this book that we had this conversation. I'll let you listen to the conversation soon. But in that conversation, Venerable Adewale Sonda, that's his name. And the title of the book is If the Foundations Be Destroyed, What Can the Righteous Do? It's a work of fiction, actually. Beautiful narration. And the question is this: why do we have over 40 years problems unresolved in Nigeria? Electricity, infrastructure, indiscipline, corruption in the civil service. You have workers being owed salaries, even those who are retiring You have question of the fact that they have to bribe before they get their paperwork done, before they can then claim their pensions and gratuities. You have question about exam malpractice and male teachers in what you like to call nuptial romp with female students in secondary schools in order to help them to pass. All these problems are still with us. You want to ask question. What exactly is wrong with this nation? And particularly, Venerable Sonda talked about the hypocrisy of religion in Nigeria and castigated religious leaders for what he called false and fake prophecies that they are using to cause division in the land. Still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. Listen to this conversation. And, so this is the way I'd like to go about it. I'll go on a commercial break. When I come back, I'll let you listen to my interaction with Venerable Adewale Sonda and his comments about religion, how we are using religion wrongly in Nigeria, and how leadership has been comatose and taken the nation on a nose drive. These are the issues that he raised in that conversation. By the way, I'll give you a fuller version of that interview on Saturday on Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5, where I discuss the book If the Foundations Be Destroyed, written by Venerable Adewale Sonda, published in 2023, published last week during the 70th birthday and his retirement from the clergy as well. So, commercial break on the program Talking Points on Splash FM. Please don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Màámi, ṣé gbogbo ife Bonvita ilẹ̀ fẹ́ pín?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó ṣàmọ̀ pé àkókò yìí ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan pínpín.
Torí ẹ̀ ní Bonvita ṣe ń pín 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí alátùrọ̀ onígíráàmù 104 àbọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ife wọ̀nyí á jẹ́ ti bọ̀dá Musa, alábàágbé wa, ìyàwó wọn, Uncle K.
Lákòókò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn àfikún 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí Bonvita alátùrọ̀ 104 àbọ̀ gíráàmù tẹ́ bá rà. Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí àfikún ìṣaralóore dídára ti Bonvita. Bonvita, ó kún fún èròǹgbà rere.
Every day in the glorious month of Ramadan, we rise from our comfort zone to answer the call of Allah's infinite blessings. We give up food, drinks, and other worldly pleasures for His heavenly rewards. So, when we gather with loved ones at iftar, let's remember to share the little comforts of the season. Vitafoam wishes you and your family a blessed Ramadan season filled with love and togetherness. Ramadan Kareem. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Are you in need of a nice and comfortable, fully furnished hostel accommodation in the University of Ibadan? Or are you in search of a place for seminars and executive trainings? Look no further. Adebayo Akonde Hall is the go-to place for your lodging needs with a home away from home feel. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. For inquiries and reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com or call 080-5699-8718 or 080-5699-8719 or 080-5699-8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
Sleepwalking through the afternoon. Sleepwalking through the afternoon. Sleepwalking through the afternoon. Don't live life on repeat. Enjoy your break moments with Five Alive Pulpy, a treat that awakens your senses and fills you with zest. So feel those moments with the indulgent sensations of Five Alive Pulpy. Five Alive, filled with life.
Baby, Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water, for the first 6 months. Give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Ultra modern market, Dagi Market Extension.
Rolling Bricks Realty and Investment Limited. Àjọṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó ti ṣàṣeyọrí tó lóòrìn. Tèmídìrí Ultra modern market and shopping mall. Ọjà Agbági tuntun phase 2. Where my war road Ìbàdàn. Àti ṣí àti tàwọn shops yẹn báyìí o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́jà títà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ ní pẹ́rẹ́. Ẹ fẹ́ ra aṣọ ńláńlá. Àǹkárá léèsì gíní báàgì àti bàtà. Ṣọ́ọ̀bù tẹ́ ti lè rọ jíjẹ wa ń bẹ pẹ̀lú. Ìjọba ló allocate ẹ̀. Ààbò tó gbogbo ń bẹ ń bẹ tọ̀sán tó rú. Wọ́n gbẹ́ bọ́ ò síbẹ̀. Wọ́n tún kọ́lé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni láti ti yípo bẹ̀. Ó tóbi ó pọ̀ ó fẹ́. Ó yẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ rẹ́ǹtì ní abẹ́ fẹ́ ra ṣọ́ọ̀bù. Ẹ̀yin náà jẹ́ tètè lọ gba fọ́ọ̀mù báyìí. The Ministry of Trade and Investment room 56 Secretariat Ìbàdàn. Wà láyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ẹ pè 0802-883-4320. 0802-883-4320. Àrètí yín lọ́jà Tèmídìrí Gbági tuntun ìlú Ìbàdàn.
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. There's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Introducing Cadbury Caramel Candy, Cadbury Coffee, and your favorite Cadbury Buttermint candies. Now there's lots more to share and enjoy.
Oh yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. I told you about my conversation with Venerable Adewale Sonda. We're discussing the book, If the Foundations Be Destroyed, What Can the Righteous Do? A work of fiction set in the 80s and the middle belt of Nigeria. But I told you about, our return to today, and we had conversations about the hypocrisy of religion in Nigeria and the castigation of religious leaders and how they whipped up so much religious emotion in the last couple of days, particularly leading up to the elections in 2023 February and March of 2023. Let me just allow you to listen to the conversation. Nigeria is said to be a very religious nation.
That's very true.
But look at where we have found ourselves. Problems of 40 years unsolved. Corruption festers every day. What is the problem with Nigeria?
My brother, the problem with us is that many of us are hypocrites. Many of us are hypocrites. Whether leaders, whether religious leaders, whether the Christian religion or the Muslim religion or the traditionalists, many of us are hypocrites, pretending to be what we are not. We have misplaced our values. An average Nigerian will think that money is everything. My brother, money is not everything at all. Money is not everything. Even many of our religious leaders are empty. There's a vacuum in their lives that has to be filled up with the mercy of the living God. Even my humble self that is talking, why I decided to make some reflections about religiosity, about the need for someone to have a kind of personal relationship with Almighty God, is the fact that you realize that no matter how much you try to be good, at the end of the day you end up doing what you really do not want. And it is because the Spirit of God is not living in someone. Before I gave my life to the Lord, I knew what I was: an hypocrite, a pretender, a liar, doing bad things, hater of human beings. But I remember very, very clearly, in 1971, at a scripture camp in Ede, it was there I gave my life to the Lord. And there was this drastic transformation about my life. In fact, I remember one day I just sat down to reflect on my life, and I said, so it is possible for me not to be angry when people hurt my feelings. And what made it possible? Jesus Christ made it possible. Because I don't have any other message. The message that can change people's life. The message that can give people hope. You see, unless our leaders, if they do not have a change of heart, it will be very difficult for them to have mercy on their followers. You discover that what is happening now is man inhumanity to man. You have the resources. Instead of taking care of your people, you are neglecting their welfare. You are not doing them any good in terms of creating employment for them, in terms of encouraging them for self-employment. And the resources are there. They may not be so much, but when you spend it wisely, and people are not deaf, people are not blind. When you are doing good, people will see it. Yes. So the idea of making sure that we have a lot of encouragement for us to give God, a chance to rule our life, to manage our lives, is just for the simple reason that there is no other fellow who can help us to have a better nation other than God. If I have a change of heart through the grace of God, that change of heart will affect the governance. It will affect my relationship with my neighbors. It will affect my relationship with my co-workers. I will have pity on them. Instead of embezzling their money, I will allow that money to be distributed to impact on their lives positively well.
Let me come to the question of the current division in the country. In the last election conducted in this country, you saw how the ethnic and religious cards were played very highly. And you yourself said earlier to now in this conversation that we have been very divided. Have you taken time to look at the role that religious leaders have played in the current scheme of things in this country? What do you think about it?
Well, some religious leaders have not done well. Many have said what God never told them to say. According to them, many of the prophecies that have been spoken were never given by God. And of course, they will stand to give an account of these false prophecies that they are telling people all about. The primary duty of God with mankind is for mankind to know Him personally. But you discover that there are some of these so-called prophets. They specialize in seeing vision, in prophesying only on political issues, only on important, human beings. How many times have you seen some of these prophets prophesying about the beggars at Sabu? How many times? Do you see them? Prophesying about, other things aside from political matter that will bring them into limelight. God is not interested in things like that. A prophet of God should stand up and speak the truth against injustice in the land. There have been so many injustices. Go to NNPC. Look at all the staff there. You discover that most of them are from one particular ethnic group in the nation. That is unfair. A prophet of God should be able to stand up and condemn, things like that. Not prophesying, so will win the election, so person will not win the election. Even when God speaks to you, yours is to pray. Let your will be done.
Now the elections have come and gone.
Yes.
What should the people in power do to assuage the pains of the people?
There are many, really very, very many. Crude oil, petroleum, touches virtually the fabrics of everybody, every life in this nation. The past governments have been advised, don't go for sophisticated refineries. Go for simple ones, so that the Nigerians can enjoy the blessing God has given to us. And look at all this while. The money spent in turning around the so-called refineries, things have not changed despite that. Nigeria is not the only country with crude oil. We have other nations too, and we see what they are doing. Look at Saudi Arabia. See the way they are using their own money, to benefit, their own people. I think our leaders should do something like that. Do something that will touch the lives of people positively well. Don't let people come and have bitterness, hatred, for Nigeria, all because of bad leadership. We can have a better nation. My brother, I believe it very, very strong. We can have a better Nigeria. If we decide, if we make up our mind, all this tribalism, these dirty politics that we are playing at the moment, we jettison them, we can have a better nation. Instead of hating one another, Nigeria is highly divided today, whether we believe it or not. Highly divided than what it was many years back. And when you look at the constitution, you discover that the present constitution is not helping us at all. It is best for us if we cannot do it better than what it is now. Then let's go back to federalism, pure, true federalism, whereby every region can take care of itself. The center will just be there as a figurehead. But what we have now is the power, everything being centralized, and that is unfair.
Venerable Sanda is the author of the novel, If the Foundations Be Destroyed, What Can the Righteous Do? Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you heard him there. So he was talking about the Constitution. He was talking about injustices and saying, rather than prophesy about political people, the prophets should, prophesy the word of God, and also why the hypocrisy of looking the other way when you have the common people who need to hear from you. He also talked about preaching against injustice. He talked about the agents of division and the rest of it. Okay, what do you think about these matters? It's still Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. You'd like to talk to me, okay? I'll be waiting to hear from you. You can talk to me on Facebook. Go to Splash FM 105.5. That is the location. I'm seeing comments here already. Adebayo Timileyin T-Boy, you said very impressive. Okay, thank you very much. Babalola Olukole Kayode, malaria vaccine is great. Oh, wow. Thank you very much for showing us that you appreciate the fact that we have a vaccine for malaria. I'll bring stats about malaria in Africa soon. David Tayo Olomo here. Okay, so thank you very much to you too for showing up. Aroni Yahaya, thank you very much. How is he saying this afternoon? All right, talk to me. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Caller is here now. Who is here? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talking Points. What's the name?
Amazing. Abodun from Mapete.
Yes, sir, Mr. Abodun.
No, we tend to approach every issue with the same idea.
Okay.
Look at the issue of building collapse in Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that some years back, somebody predicted that the rate at which, don't forget, Lagos is under sea level.
Yeah, exactly.
And this man predicted that in the next 50 years, if care is not taken, there may not be, God forbid, there may not be any Lagos again. I don't know if you heard that.
But I know that there are some cities that are under the sea level. Yeah.
Number two, it means there's a limit to what you can put on the rock or the head there. Apart from the addition of corruption.
Okay.
The weight of the building plus corruption.
Okay.
Definitely, that head cannot carry those two, the twin brothers.
But is it about the whether it's topography or whatever of Lagos, or the carelessness of regulatory agencies and the fact that these people who are putting these buildings up are trying to cut corners in terms of materials?
I have added the two, the weight plus corruption.
Okay.
Corruption is, envelope every other sharp practices. You know that when you feel that you can do anything and go scot-free,
okay.
I'm talking of culture of impunity in Nigeria.
Okay.
Then anything can happen. You can imagine that building without approval. Nobody has been there to stop them. So that's the additional twin brother of building collapse.
All right.
The weight of the building plus corruption.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bodunri there. Thank you for engaging this afternoon. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Those are the numbers in case you'd like to talk to me. And talking malaria. Okay, there are some very unsavory statistics about malaria. Okay, so according to a report by the World Health Organization published in precisely 8th of December 2022, it says that Africa shoulders the heaviest burden of malaria around the world at 95%. That's 234 million cases. Imagine that. I'll come to that after this caller. Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's the name? Hello?
Hello. Is that radio station?
Yeah, this is Splash FM 105.5.
So, I like to talk about that man.
Hello?
That man that wrote to me. I would like to know about.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
I said I want to know about the book, about that mother.
Okay, you want to know more about the book. Okay, so
Exactly.
if you want to know more about the book, join me on Book Splash on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Okay, I'll give you all the details about that book on Saturday. Yeah.
And hypocrisy is the major problem of the day.
Okay, so you also agree hypocrisy is a big problem, right?
Exactly. Hypocrisy leads to tribalism, leads to nepotism, leads to favoritism, and that leads to bad governance, which will persist in Nigeria, except the hypocrisy can be eradicated. And that way of eradicating hypocrisy inside all mankind.
Okay.
Not only in Nigeria, all over the world.
All right.
The reason why Nigeria dies is because we have the largest number of hypocrites in Nigeria. We have been.
All right.
Every year. From secondary school, primary school, you see hypocrites. How they begin to do competition among themselves.
All right. Okay. Okay, so you didn't tell me your name. Thank you very much.
In the family,
all right. Okay. Thank you very much. You did not tell me your name.
My name is Davini West. I am the author of Frustrated Nigerian Youth.
I didn't get the name.
Can you hear me?
I did not get your name.
This is Davini West, author of Frustrated Nigerian Youth.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. All right. Well, I get the message. Hypocrisy everywhere. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome to Talking Points today. What's the name?
My name is Tijani Azan. I'm coming from Iwo Road.
Tijani from Iwo Road. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to congratulate Ghana and Ghanaian people.
Okay.
For this landmark achievement.
Okay.
But my fear is these neo-colonialists, whether they are going to allow the vaccine to see the light of the day.
The vaccine was produced. The vaccine was produced by University of Oxford. The vaccine was produced by Oxford.
Hello?
Yeah, I said the vaccine was produced by Oxford.
Okay. Okay, that's that.
Yeah.
And the other issue, the interview you had with the
venerable,
with the man. I think the man has said everything off. You know, in a society, we have our money. We see money from. We see everything from the monetary angle. So that's the point we are going to face. Every one of us, we are all hypocrites. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling. All right, Tijani there talking to me. Okay, would you like to be a part of this? I'm waiting for your comments. If you do that now. Did you know Yeni on Facebook? Well done, Mr. Mike. I think environmental sanitation orientation is another area to be considered in reducing the spread of malaria parasite in our locality. I also agree with you. I was talking about the malaria statistics. 96% of malaria deaths. That's about 593,000. Of course, in Africa. Wow, 96% of malaria deaths. Nearly 80% of the deaths occur in children under 5. Wow. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talking Points. What's the name?
Yeah, finally, I'm still SD. Avoiding from marketing.
Yes, sir.
Concerning this issue of fuel subsidy.
Yes, sir.
If we succeed in removing fuel subsidy, who is going to help us to remove the twin brother corruption?
Okay.
Because I would have loved to see a debate where we consider the impact of corruption or what we lose through corruption compared with what we lose through fuel subsidy.
Okay.
Then, if we succeed in convincing everybody that we are losing much to corruption, then maybe it will have been necessary we remove corruption before we remove fuel subsidy. Mike, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boduri. Well, you are speaking in parables, right? You are speaking in parables. All right. Thank you very much for calling. Interesting conversations here. All right. You'd like to join the conversation? Facebook is there. Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. That's the location. Twitter is there at Splash FM 1055. Hashtag Talking Points. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Mike. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, this is Dapo.
All right, Mr. Dapo. Welcome, sir.
I really appreciate that interview with man. I've forgotten the name.
Venerable Sanda, right? Venerable Sanda.
Yes. It's correct. When the foundation is faulty, there's nothing the righteous can do. And what the man said, I agreed totally. And I said it during the election. Most of the prophets that we have now, they are just prophets of doom. And that's why I said I love what that man said. We only prophesy on politics to make them irrelevant. So that is a fact. Then number two, the man that called before me now is talking about corruption and substance.
Yeah, Abodoni, yes.
Honestly speaking, if there's no subsidy, it's going to take a larger part of corruption in this country. I am not saying that they will remove subsidy now. But my brother, there's no time the subsidy will not be removed. Because when we can be spending trillions of naira on subsidy, I don't think it makes sense.
All right. Okay.
But what the Europeans are talking now is what I support.
Okay.
You cannot remove subsidy without local refinery.
Okay.
You need to give us some local refining before you can say you are removed. Or else, majority of us, I don't think we want to run away from this country because the inflation will be more than a runaway inflation.
All right.
So I think the government should please think about this. And to me, probably because I'm not yet there, I think it's easy. You can just give these local people license, let them begin to refine. I think the present vice president said it when he went to Delta.
Okay.
And he saw this boys that are doing the local refineries.
Mr. Dakpo.
So they might not be licensed, but we can start from there so that this product will be much.
Okay.
So they can think of that before they remove subsidy.
Mr. Dakpo.
Then Sunday, you promise us to run a message. You said we want us to hear a voice message. I just want to remind you before your time.
Which voice message? Which voice message? I already played the interview. Sir. Okay, so I was going to say that we have modular refineries ready or in this country. I understand that I think one of them also is making requests for crude oil at the moment. I know that there are at least 23 refineries in Nigeria. Some of them, most of them, still ongoing in terms of construction. Okay, so that's what I know. I think that we are still, coming up in terms of making refineries available in this country. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Okay, would you like to talk to me? Please go ahead and do that. I guess there's a problem with the network somewhere there. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It is Talking Points on Splash FM. May I meet you, please?
Yeah, my name is Mr. Francis.
Oh, Mr. Francis, let's talk, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see, it's just each time you bring up this issue that has to do with removal of this fuel subsidy, I have another way of looking at it that Nigerians as a country, we are not serious. You see, the point is this. If you look at government that have ruled this country before the problem of the refinery that we have came up, it is enough. 20 years has passed. We are still talking about 16 refineries. It's a shame. Why not flag another refinery? If Dangote, a single person can float a refinery, can Nigeria not float a refinery so that at least we'll have our own fuel here and the price will come down? You don't expect Nigerians to get anything less. If you take your crude to overseas to refine, and when it comes back, the price is doubled. And come to look at it, those that are charged with responsibility are not those that are transparent. We put fast on it. And we have lost so many things like we've lost kerosene, we've lost jet fuel, a lot of things we have lost. Diesel and every other thing is there. Now, you can't imagine that. Let us remove this subsidy so that, you see, look at Nuclear now speaking with both mouths. They were the one that said the other time that, yes, subsidy should be removed. Because they realized that those that are feeding fat on it will not have it to feed again.
Okay.
So let us not deceive ourselves.
Okay.
Other countries that are subsidizing their own fuel subsidy, you see it with the masses.
All right.
I told you one day, if you go to the U.S., if you have a child, 7 o'clock every day, the food of that child is at your doorstep. Is that not subsidy? And so we cannot do it here because the corruption is much.
Okay.
Nothing we can do without it. If you look at if you float a company now, you employ people. I give you 6 months, they run that company. But the corruption is much. Until we tackle corruption in this country, we will go nowhere.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Mr. Francis. There. Okay. So the question about refineries, I said that there are refineries in Nigeria, both private and some semi-private. So by semi-private, I mean what you call PPP, arrangements. So I said that there are about 23 refineries in Nigeria. Some of them are modular, if you like. I think you should just go ahead and check on the internet. This information is available on the internet and see where we are at the moment. So we're almost there. That's what I'd like to say. Almost there. All right. You'd like to talk to me or like to join the conversation? Why not? 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Those are the numbers. Just a couple of minutes. Got call. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Michael.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Tony. I'm calling from Alaska.
Mr. Tony, let's talk, sir.
Yes. All this issue of refinery subsidy and all that is all corruption.
Oh, wow. You just left, right? Hello? Oh, wow. I'd like you to call back, please, if you can. You said it's all corruption. What do you mean by that? Okay. Join the conversation on Talking Points this afternoon. It is the table where we talk. Everybody. I mean, all of us. Okay, so talk to me. We have a caller here. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Okay. David Tayo Olomo, thank you very much for showing up. Venerable Sandai has nailed it 100%. He called a spade a spade. The bane of Nigeria's unresolved issues over the past 40 years has been the lack of visionary and godly leadership. What we've been having over time is hypocritical religiosity as opposed to godliness or spirituality. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Tony calling back from Malawi.
Okay, yes. I wanted you to complete your thought.
Yes, all these things are just corruption. Why is it so difficult for us to get something done easily in this country? Why do we always name them all these kind of things that will not be transparent, that will not have any straight meaning to it? All these illegal refineries, what knowledge are they using to create all those refineries?
Okay.
Why? Well, let's look at this thing now. You are a farmer. You are planting rice, beans, and everything. And you even let's use yam for example. You harvest your yam from the farm and you brought it to me to cook for you or to turn to pounded yam for you. And after you gave it to me, I have to pay money for it. But does it make any sense at all? Why are we turning this country as if we don't even have any knowledge at all about anything? Look at how everything is. So it's tiresome, it's exasperating, it's just too annoying what they are doing to everything. Okay, the subsidy they are talking about, even the palliative they are talking about, it is some set of people that will spend this money without getting it to the right people. So what are we talking about? What exactly are they doing with it? I think they are just playing with our brain, they are playing with our life. We have no meaning to them. So it's just a straight thing that everything on it is just corruption.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you very much for your submission. Thank you very much for your submission. I'll return to David Tayo Olomo on Facebook. The proliferation of religious centers in the country has not done this country any good, but has worsened the situation. You cannot serve God and mammon. Godliness would never condone fantastic corruption. Lawlessness, impunity, injustice, and falsehood as what obtains currently in the land. The leadership and the lead, in this country require total mental, spiritual reorientation and behavioral therapy. Nigeria has the potential to be one of the greatest countries in the world. We need to take the bull by the horns. What do you mean by this? Where is the bull? Okay, I guess I have to go now. I have to go now. Okay, so I'd like to ask you to join me on Saturday for a full version of the conversation that I had with Venerable Adewale Sonda, and as well as my review of his book, a work of fiction titled, it's a prose work, right? Okay, titled, If the Foundations Be Destroyed, What Can the Righteous Do? That is the title of the book. Fantastic work of art, okay? Join me on Saturday on Book Splash, and let's revel in the world of books together. As soon as I leave now, about the news update at 4 o'clock and Game On. And soon after Game On, we have Splash Rendezvous. Promises to be big. Join us then. My name is Michael Olatunbosun. I'd like to ask you to do everything within your power to make this nation better. That includes not dumping refuse in the waterways.
This is not a danger zone.
Do bad stuff. Play your music too loud.
Hit music all day. Hit music all day. All day.
Hey, what's up? It's Charlie Puth. Everybody, this is Zed.
This is your friendly zone.
Hello, monsters. This is Lady Gaga. More music every hour.
Splash 105.5 FM.
The message is brought to you by Cowbell Evaporated Milk.
The message, here's the message.
Inna alhamdulillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi. All praise is due to Allah, the most beneficent, the most gracious. In only Him we believe, in only Him we trust. May His peace and blessings be upon Muhammad, on his noble household, and on his righteous companions.
Aisha, why do you have
so many things in sachets of cowbell milk?
My sister, it is what I plan to share with people this Ramadan. No?
Hey, Aisha, you can start by sharing some with me now.
Oh yeah, take. It's Ramadan after all.
In this holy month, share the nourishing goodness of cowbell milk with friends and family. It contains B9, Vitarich, and it's so creamy, so good.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to The Message. The title of today's message is Standing Tall in the Face of Criticism. Those who are ignorant have uttered curses at Allah, the Exalted, the Creator of all that exists. So what treatment should we, who are full of fault, expect from people? You will always have to face criticism, which in its onslaught is like an interminable war. It shows no sign of ending. As long as you shine, give, produce, and have an effect upon people, then disapproval and condemnation will be your lot in life, until you escape from people by finding a tunnel in the ground or a ladder leading to the sky. They will not desist from censuring you, from finding faults in your character. For that reason, as long as you are from the denizens of the earth, expect to be hurt, to be insulted, and to be criticized. And here is something you should contemplate. A person who is sitting on the ground does not fall, and people do not kick a dead dog. So remain firm and patient when facing their insults and criticism. If you are wounded by their words and let them have an influence over you, you will have realized their hopes for them. Instead, forgive them by showing them the most beautiful of manners. Verily, you will not be able to silence them, but you will be able to bury the criticism by turning away from them and dismissing what they have to say. قُلْ مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. Say, perish in your